Broussard back with us. Chris, are you surprised Chris Paul didn't defend the stance of his good friend LeBron here?
The way the question's worded, it sounds like somebody's trying to start beef between Chris and LeBron. But
Never.
No, I'm not surprised because Chris, look, as close as they are, Chris Paul is his own man. And we all talk about how he's one of the greatest leaders in the league. You don't become a leader by kowtowing to everybody, and even to your friends. And so I don't think he looked at it like I'm going against LeBron. But even if he did, he's going to speak his mind. And what Chris said is true. Like the Players Association voted to go along and start in December. They didn't really want to, but once the league showed them, look, if we wait till January, we're going to lose between $500 million and $1 billion, and that's going to impact your salaries. And so Chris and all the other players talked about it, and most of them, including LeBron. LeBron did it grudgingly, obviously, but he even, once he saw that money, even he was like, yeah, we got to start. So they all agreed to start in December. So Chris, I think, looked at it like, look, let me remind you guys that it's not like I just made a unilateral decision.
Exactly.
This is all the players have their chance to weigh in. And we all, he didn't say this yesterday, but you saw the money and you recognize that this was what you should have done. So, no, I'm not surprised by it, because even if he had agreed with LeBron, it really would have even been making himself look bad.
Right.
Because he, as the president of the Players Association, is held responsible for their decision. So, no, I think he spoke the truth, but two, I also think he defended himself.
I totally agree. And the Players Association, and look, a lot of times, having been in the NFLPA Players Association, being a member, I wasn't on the board or anything, is that you got to do what's the best for all of them, all 1,500 members, not just one. It might not, it's like the quarterbacks, the quarterbacks didn't want to be because they're like, we're isolated. So the quarterbacks started their own club. The quarterback club was separate from the NFLPA. Okay, fine. Well, the NBA is not like that. They're joined. So we got 450 players. What is in the best interest of all 450? Not just one, not just five. What's in the best interest of all? Well, the best interest of all is not to lose $500 or $1 billion. Let's get that money. Nobody's trying to take a deduction, because you'd already taken a deduction because of the 5 months you missed because of COVID, because of the pandemic. So guys weren't trying, especially guys that's not making $35, $40 million. Everybody's not making LeBron James and Chris Paul and these upper-level players money. So I don't blame the guys. Hey, I get it. Yeah, it's a lot of wear and tear on your body, but you're not going to get an opportunity to make this money up. And so Chris Paul was well within his right. LeBron was right to voice his opinion and says, I believe a lot of the injuries that we're seeing was because we played a condensed season. We played 10 fewer games in two fewer months. So I believe he voiced his opinion. Chris Paul said, look, Chris Paul didn't say, well, he and LeBron didn't have a conversation. He's like, hey, if there was something that you wanted or wanted added or something taken out, you could have voiced that. So I love what Chris Paul said. I love what LeBron James said. But at the end of the day, Chris Paul is in the NBA Finals. It look pretty good to him right now. Right. So I ain't got no beat.
He's not complaining.
Look where I'm standing. It's pretty good from where I'm standing, and we're healthy. So I don't have a problem with it, Skip. And like I said, we can be friends. Just because we friends, that don't mean I got to agree with everything you say. Ask my friends, do I agree with everything they say? They'll tell you, hell no.
So
if you're really friends, you got that leeway.
Yes.
To, disagree. Well, I think Chris understands. Look, LeBron respects me enough. I respect him enough where if we disagree on something, that's just the way it is, but we still are good friends.
Interesting. So, to your point, it sounds like Chris Paul should momentarily disqualify himself for operating for the good of the whole, because he's operating only for the good of himself. Because if you want to serve business interest for the league, right now his only business interest is for CP3.
Right.
He is the last man standing because Phoenix is the last team standing, so to speak, because Giannis appears to be out who knows how long. But the point is, Phoenix is now the quote-unquote most healthy team, even though Chris has had a rough ride through the playoffs with his shoulder and COVID and now a shooting wrist. supposedly a torn ligament, but he seems to be okay. They seem to be pretty good as far as health goes. And it has become a matter of who's the last team standing, right? That's what these playoffs have sort of degenerated into. So all of a sudden, I was a little surprised that Chris, because LeBron was so outspoken about it, he tweeted so strongly about it. Remember the scathing tweet? I told you so. I told you this was going to happen. I was surprised Chris didn't at least pay some homage to what LeBron's position was by saying you can certainly make a case for, or case that the compacted season contributed to these injuries. But he didn't. No. He just ducked it and dodged it and said, we have conversations.
He's going to make a great CEO because Chris Paul does a great job of towing the company policy and not ruffling any feathers. But he was right. He was right, though, Skip.
I know. But the amazing thing about Chris Paul's career is he's been doing this for a long time, running the Players Association. It's like a full-time job. It takes away so much of your energy and focus from your actually playing basketball. And he has obviously played for the longest, 16 years, at the highest level. He is going to be, obviously, a Hall of Famer. He's a first-ballot Hall of Famer. He needs to cap it off with a ring. But I'm just amazed because his degree of difficulty to get to this moment was much harder because he chose to serve as the head of an organization with a whole lot of conversation going on because these NBA players, they're different than NFL players in that they're all more outspoken in and of themselves, right? They're more individual.
And if you look at it, Chris, I think a lot of players might not like Chris Paul personally, but they respect the job that he's done and what he's tried to do for the betterment of everybody. So you might not like the way he conducts himself on the basketball court. You say he does some dirty, some cheap things. But when you look at the totality of his work and how he's tried to work to get everybody more money and to give everybody a voice, you say, okay, now this is why I have so much respect for Chris Paul. But like I said, I mean, we can be friends. Chris, I've been waiting to tell this story. My senior year, the guys, they didn't like the cafeteria food. Now, mind you, Skip, we small, so we black college.
Senior year, college.
In college.
Okay.
They didn't like the food, Chris. Now, Mr. Hewitt, he was the guy, he put us, the football players, because we ate in the general cafeteria. He said, boys, y'all come in a little later. I'm going to have some steaks for y'all. Okay, steak. Okay. But the guys got in their mind, hey, they came to my room. Hey, Sharp, we want to run something by you. I'm like, okay, what's up? Man, we're going to boycott the calf. I say, why? Man, the food they gave us on Thursday, we had that on Monday and Tuesday. I say, if y'all don't get y'all cry freedom, mofo, you know what, out of my room, I say, I ain't boycotting nothing. I say, that man give us steak. I say, and y'all want to boycott after all he's been good to us? I say, man, if y'all don't get up out my room, guess what? They showed up on Friday eating that same food. So I'm going to do what's in the best interest of everybody. Y'all trying to do in the best interest of yourself. Y'all do realize this ain't Ohio State. This ain't Alabama. You ain't got no big training table. Can y'all think about somebody other than yourself? I was thinking about everybody, Skip. The whole school, you want to boycott. What that look like out there, Skip? That man done gave us steak, and I'm leading the boycott. Boycott the calf. Boycott Mr. Hewitt. Say, man, if y'all don't get up out my room.
Maybe LeBron should listen to your story.
to your point, to your point, Shannon, the Players Association, we all know the stars, and it gets hot and heavy, right, with the owners. The stars show up. But the Players Association generally looks out for the best interest of the rank and file. Because most of the players are rank and file. And most of them aren't LeBron or CP.
Ain't getting no super
and
max.
Just look, they have max salaries. The max salary does not benefit LeBron and Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. It benefits the rank and file. So that's who they're really looking out for. And Skip, for Chris Paul, he don't want to hear any talk about the injuries.
Nope.
I'm sure, because people are gonna, if they win this championship, right, especially if Giannis doesn't play, that's going to be a lot of the chatter, and it'll be years from now when people finally look back and they won't remember, you know, the details get fuzzy. So people won't remember all the guys that were hurt. He probably can't wait till that day if they win this.
Wait, did Chris just say when they win this championship? I think he did.
You said that, Chris?
I said if, but when.
I think you said
I got
when.
him in 6. I got him in 6.
Okay.
Chris, don't burn the money,
I got him in
Chris.
6.
You know when you gamble, you don't touch the money while you still
What's
betting.
your pick, Skip?
He got the Bucks.
I haven't
I
heard
got the
Skip's
Bucks
pick.
tonight. That's all I got.
But you haven't made a pick for the series? You're not making a pick for the series?
I need to hear what Giannis is going to do.
You got little or no faith in Giannis, so why you care what he gonna do?
I don't want him to play. That's what I'm saying.
Well, if he don't,
I like the Bucks a lot better if he doesn't play. I
He's
told
out of his
Chris.
mind.